a video I never thought I'd have to make. There's gonna be a break in content for a little bit. Weller had an accident the other night and completely broke his bone in half. One of his back legs. He shattered it. Like it's not shattered, it's a clean break. So there's gonna be a break in content for a little bit. But this, I figured I'd come on and tell everybody what was happening. That way I don't just disappear off the face of the earth. Because I know, especially because it's been posted on all of our other content, like all of our other social media. I watched Tam. It's been posted all of our other social media, so everybody should be aware of what's happening. But just in case, like, you're not, it's not. Because I know some people don't follow us on everything. So I just want to make sure everybody's aware of what's going on. And also, it's nice to just have a video that goes into detail of what happened and everything like that. So what we always do is always go to work, and my roommate she takes the dogs everywhere that she goes. Like if she's going to the park, but the dogs go to the park, they have their long lines, they run around, they have a great time. And that's never bothered me. It still doesn't bother me. Like, I love the fact that she does that. I love the fact that she treats Weller as her own. Because I work nights. Like, I'm gone, especially during Christmas season, I'm gone, like, all day. So the fact that I love the fact that she takes care of Weller. Like, he's her own. And he just adopts her. So, she did that. Just like a normal park day. She was going on a picnic. She had both the dogs. They were running and playing. They were having a great time. I was at work. I was teching. We had finished our first show. It was a Sunday. It was, what day is it today? It was the 21st, June 21st. It was a Sunday, so we only had 2 early shows, and so we had done the first show. We were maybe 4 acts into the show, because I worked with Stampede. We were on Trick Ride, and I come back in, I was a tech, and I was fiddling in Hoedown. And so I come back from Hoedown, and I have like 2 seconds, because I'm changing into leggings, because the tech pants that I had didn't really fit me, but I was borrowing somebody else's pants, but they needed to wear them, and so we had to swap right after she got back from her act, so we swapped. And I was putting those on, and I had like 5 minutes because I wasn't in anything. Like, I checked my phone because I had 5 minutes. There was nothing to do backstage, so I was like, I can afford to check my phone real quick. And I had 2 texts from my roommate and 5 missed calls, and she just said, emergency, answer SOS. And like, I saw that, and I was like, okay, it could have been like, it could be an overreaction. Like, I'm in the middle of a show, I can't really look. But then like, as I wandered around, I was like, no, I don't know if that would be an overreaction. And so I go and pick up my phone again, and she texted me and she said, I need you as soon as show's done to call me. And so I was like, okay, so something's horribly wrong. So I called her in the dressing room, and I was like, hey, what's going on? She's like, you need to leave work right now. And I was like, I will say, I was very like, no, I'm not leaving. Because, so, I told her, send me a picture. Really, like, I want to see it first. You know, like, I don't want him to just go to the ER vet, cough up like $6,000, and it just be something that I could have fixed at home. So, because like, it could have been something like in his paw pad, like he could have a thorn or something. I don't know, because I'm not there. So I was like, do not take him to the vet. I will leave as soon as the show is over, and I will be right there. And she sent me this picture, and she says, no, Peyton, I think his foot is broken. And I kind of lost my marbles. I started like crying, I was sobbing. I had her send me a picture, and the picture, it doesn't look bad. But the picture doesn't look bad. And so I was like, it's not the end of the world, don't take it. But the more I was like thinking about it, and I was like, no, something's not right. Because she said, Peyton, he howled. Like, he screamed bloody murder. And yes, Weller's a very vocal dog, but he's more vocal in like the grumbly, I don't want to do this, I'm going to talk back way. Not really any other way. So I was like, okay, no, that's like serious. And it was right before my next act. And so I ran into my manager's office, and I was like, my dog broke his leg. Like, I need to leave. I was like, I can do this next act, but because it was quite literally like the thing I was supposed to be doing was about to leave. Like, the people were coming back in, the driver was about to get on the wagon, and I was like, I need to be out there, but I also need to go home. And I looked at my manager and was like, I need to leave. Like, immediately after this act, I need to leave. And he looked at me and he was like, no, leave right now. You're good. I will do it. I'll finish your checking. You need to go. So I leave, and I still don't think it's that bad. I'm like, yeah, I'm having a panic attack because she told me my dog's leg might be broken. But in my mind, it's still, like, not the end of the world. Like, maybe he's just being over dramatic. Like, whatever. Everything's fine. And so I'm like, don't take him anywhere, just leave, stay there. She stays at the park until I get there. And then, because I was gonna like poke and prod his leg to make sure it was okay, but I didn't really feel comfortable poking and prodding his leg until I got a muzzle on him. Not because he's aggressive, but just because I know how dogs are. If they're in pain, they don't care if you're their mom, they don't care who you are, they can bite. So I was like, I already don't really have the money for an emergency vet bill. I don't need to also add on a dog bite to that list. I definitely don't have the money for that. So it was just gonna be like all precautionary. We get back here, or no, we didn't even get back here. I got to the park. Like, I left in such a rush. These are my work boots. I left my Hey Dudes. I left in my ran out in my tights, in my shorts. I had my shirt on. I had my work boots on. Like, I ran out in my work boots. I get to the park and I sprint towards them. Like, he didn't try to get up to greet me. He just picked his head up. And I picked up his leash and asked him to stand up just to see. He didn't put weight on that leg. I wish I got a picture. I wish somebody had thought to take a picture. We were all like, because my roommate was there with her dog and my dog, and all by herself. And so she had called her friend that lives in our apartment complex to come and get Scout. So Scout wasn't there at this time. So it was just me, her friend, and my roommate. All of us were just focused on either getting Scout to her friend's house or getting Weller to the ER vet. And so nobody thought to take a picture. I wish somebody had taken a picture. I picked him, he stood up, and his leg quite literally went like this. Like, his shin. So like right here on him, on his back leg, it's where his tibia and his fibula are. Tibia and fibula. There we go. He broke it in half. At this point, I didn't know that. But it was acting like a joint. on a non-joint spot. And I was like, I scooped him up and I said, no, we're leaving. I ended up, I put him back down on the ground because I carried him for a little bit, but then I was like, no, I need to call my mom. Like, I need to call someone. And so I put him back down on the ground. Her friend picked him up and carried him to my car for me. My roommate held everything in my hands so that I could call my mom and I could find an emergency vet near us to take him to. We put him in my car. He usually, if he's in my backseat, I reach back and I'll like give him a little scratch. And he'll stop over, scratch him. He didn't even move. He just laid there and he was like, no. So by about 7:50, we make it to the ER vet. And it actually just so happened that I chose the closest emergency vet. I didn't really look too much into it because I was like, this is a problem. And so I just picked the closest one. Luckily, that was also the one that my roommate had been calling throughout this entire time, like the entire time, and I was like, no, we're not going. She had been in contact with an emergency vet going, so I think his leg's like in half. Like, I think that you, like, I can't do anything because it's not my dog, but also, what do I do? And so they already knew the situation. We were able to, when we got there, she went inside and got a muzzle because the way he was put in my car, his leg was facing up, it was on top, and his butt was facing me. So if I was to pick him up, that leg would have been against my body. It would have probably hurt him. It could have, he could have bitten me in the face, because my face was going to have to be right next to his. And yet again, I didn't want to get bit in the face, and so I just went ahead and muzzled him just in case. They did end up taking it off later because they were like, he's not aggressive. And I was like, yeah, I know that, but also he's muzzle trained for a reason. And so she ran in, got us a muzzle. We muzzled him. I picked him up. I carried him in. They took him immediately back. Like, everybody else in the waiting room had their dogs, had their pets with them. But Weller was immediately brought back. They took the muzzle off. They were like, he's not aggressive. Like, we understand why you wanted it, just in case, but he's fine now. He just hung out, he slept. Every update they gave me, because I kept asking for updates, they were like, he's literally just sleeping. So then we sat in that waiting room for I think 30 minutes, and then me and my roommate looked at each other and were like, wait, we could get work done. So she started doing her homework. I started editing videos while we were waiting. We were giggling and laughing to cope with it because it was rough actually. So we got there around 8. It wasn't until about, I want to say 11. We got moved back into a room at, I have to look at all my pictures for timestamps. Yesterday, so by 9:40 we were in a room. By 9:40 we were in a room and we were just hanging out. We were in that room for a hot minute. Eventually at one point I got so cold that I had to go to my car and hunt down a sweatshirt and some sweatpants because it was ice cold in there. My roommate's legs were turning, not blue, but you know how your legs get all purple, from blood flow when you get cold? Yeah, that was her legs. We were freezing in there. By about 12:14 was when they brought us back to look at the x-rays. I had left, I came back, and these, you can hear me coming from 6 miles away. They clink and they roll, especially on tile. And so, I'm walking and I see that our room door is open. Where's my roommate? What is happening? And I hear her from the other room go, oh, there she is! And so I walk in and they're looking at his x-rays. He's an overachiever. He didn't just break 2 bones, he broke 3. Well, he fractured 1. He broke 2, fractured another. he broke his tibia and his fibula clean in half. I'll post his x-rays there. And then he also broke a bone right where his dew claw used to be, because it's on his back right leg. I had his dew claw removed last summer because he has it from his Great Pyrenees side, but his Great Pyrenees are bred to like kill coyotes and herd sheep, right? He doesn't do any of that. He wears dog Crocs, and they really just rub on his dew claw and make it really painful for him. I have to keep wrapping his dew claws. Like, I was like, it's not really worth it to keep his dew claw, so I got it removed, amputated, as that one lady yelled at me multiple times. And so he broke that little bone, which I'll put that x-ray here. And my roommate stayed as long as she could. She had work in the morning, so I think she stayed until about 1:30ish, because she wanted to see Weller. She didn't know if we were gonna get to take him home last night or not, so she ended up leaving at 1:30, and so I hung out waiting in the room for the next like 2 hours. Fell asleep a lot. I took a lot of naps. I'm so tired. He ended up getting released at 3:19 in the morning. I'll put his first picture. He was heavily drugged, because they had to sedate him to put his leg in a splint. He was heavily drugged. He was drooling everywhere. It was like moving a sack of potatoes. Like, the vet tech carried him out for me, and he could barely keep his own head up. He was a mess. He was so drugged. But I'll put that picture. So the emergency vet was only a minute drive from our house, but it ended up being a hot minute, this next picture. It took me about 30 minutes to get home and get him out of the car. He wouldn't get out of the car by himself. Like, he wouldn't stand up last night. So I have this picture of him from last night. I'll put it in here too. From once I finally got him out of the car, he was so limp from being drugged that he quite literally just flopped out. Like, I was trying to get him to stand up just to see, because they said that they wanted to see him stand before he left, and he did stand, but not for long, and he wasn't very happy about it. And so I was like, well, I want to also know that he knows how to stand, just for like my own peace of mind. So I was trying to get him to stand. He did not stand. He flopped over. So we have this picture of him looking like roadkill right next to my car. I had to completely empty the backseat of my car out and then completely put everything back. I put everything back in my car. I just left him laying on the side of the road by my car. And again, it was 3 a.m. Nobody was out. It was almost 4 at this point. So nobody was out and moving. He was just laying there. He was perfectly content just hanging out. And then I got him up and he was walking. I wanted to make sure that he knew how to walk, because he needs to be able to walk by himself, just so I know, like, he could. Because, yes, I have been carrying him most everywhere, but also, it's important that he does know how to walk on it, just so he could like get up and get water when he's thirsty here, stuff like that. Which he doesn't want to drink out of his water bowl. He went and found a cup full of water on the floor of the patio and drank that instead, even though he has a full water bowl in the house. And so I'll put the video of him drunkenly walking to the apartment in here.
Come on! Come on! You got it! Yay! Come on!
And then I finally got him inside. It took us about 10 to walk from the car to here, because I wanted to also try to make sure that he had a chance to like pee. And so we stopped to let him pee, brought him in. He made it in. I threw a blanket down on the ground for him and scrunched it all up so he'd be all comfy. Got him on it, and that was about 4 o'clock, which he just laid there. I took my makeup off. I think I had called JoJo, and I was talking to JoJo about it because I had been texting her earlier in the day, and then she had sent me a TikTok, so I was like, I know you're awake. And so she had been on the phone with me the entire process of trying to get him out of the car, trying to do everything. He has a donut now. It's a little shark. I'll put a picture in of it for whenever he has to be left alone. Because they gave us a cone, but it's like Velcro. Like, if he really wanted to, like, this man has to be in a high security crate to keep him contained. A Velcro cone is not going to do anything of the sorts. So, what happened, we're gonna, we have a vet appointment on Wednesday to figure out what's going on, get his splint changed, get him on more permanent pain meds, and we're gonna see what happens.
Hey besties, I'm just here to give an update on the whole broken leg Weller situation. This might go into the original What Happened video, or it might come into the own video. I'm not sure yet. Sorry, we had an Alex Morgan concert last night. This is the first time that I've had to like sit down and make this video. We're at my parents' house, and so, as you all know, Weller broke his leg on Sunday. It is now charging. Today's now the 26th. It's a month until my birthday. It's now the 26th. On the 21st he broke his leg. On the 22nd I sat down and made a video about it. On the 23rd, I got a phone call from the surgical team we were referred to by the emergency vet, and they said that he was in fact surgical, which kind of upset me, not gonna lie, because we had been told by everybody else that he wasn't, which, like, they're experts, the surgical team is experts, so we're gonna go with what they say rather than what the emergency vet people say. So it makes sense. And so they called me at like 8 a.m. Like, I was still asleep, and they call me and they're like, hey, you're gonna need, like, I'm calling to see if we can do this. We might be able to get him in today, we might be able to get him in tomorrow. And I was like, whoa, okay, so this is really fast. And we have the Alex Morgan concert was last night, and so we were leaving on Wednesday to go, and so I was like, okay, well, I really hope that they can get him in today, because, like, all my friends are driving down to my parents' house on Friday, or Wednesday, like, they're driving down Wednesday night, and I don't really feel comfortable driving a drugged up dog. Because they don't keep them overnight there. They, after their surgery, once they're like awake is a loose term, wait until you see this picture of Weller, they send them home. So I was like, I don't really feel comfortable driving that, and so I really hope they can get us in today. And the lady said, okay, so it's gonna be this much money. And I said, I just spent $400 at the emergency vet. I'm gonna need to call my mom. And so I said, can I call my mom real quick? And she went, yeah, that works, because we have to go see if we can if this puppy is coming in today or not. And if this puppy's not coming in, if Weller hasn't had anything to eat or drink before 7:15, he can come in and get the surgery today. And I went, I bet. And so I hung up on her and I called my mom and I'm like, hey bestie, he is surgical and they want to do this and it's going to be X amount of money. And she goes, let me call your father. And so she hangs up on me, calls my dad, and they come to agreement. They help me pay for it, which I'm sorry, you're on top of Weller's crate and he has to wear his cone while he's in his crate because his donut doesn't prevent him from doing anything, and he's very upset that he's still in his crate, but I need help to take him out, and my father is talking to the bat guy. That's what's happening. There's a bat guy, and my father's talking to him right now. And so I call my mom, and my mom goes, yeah, we can 100% do that. And so I go, okay, great. And so I'm already like immediately running around, getting ready, changing everything. I call them back and I'm like, hey, I figured out the money thing. Do y'all know if he can come in today or if he has to come in tomorrow? And they're like, yeah, he can come in today. And so I was like, yeah. So he went, we took him in. So I brought him in, and it was supposed to be my first day back at work. Because I took Monday off. I called out on Monday so that I could be with him because it was his first day in a split. And so I was like, I don't really want to leave him alone. Like, I just want to, and so I had to call out again. Called Leroy, and I was like, hey, bestie, I won't be in work. He's getting surgery now. And then, so like, we get there, and they were like, hey, who's your vet so we can call him real quick and get like all of his records. And I was like, oh, well, I don't know if this is helpful or not, but I have this. And I have a folder of every single thing Weller has ever had done. I think the only thing that is missing is his ER visit back in like 2021. That's it. And like his original his first ever rabies vaccine. That's it. Because I didn't think you had to keep those, but apparently you have to keep those for international travel. But it's okay because we're not going anywhere until 2028 anyway. But she's like, I need to get his vet records. And I was like, I don't know if it's helpful, but I have all of this. And I produced this giant folder. And she goes, this is the best thing that has ever happened to me. And like, takes my folder, and she's like flipping through. She goes, oh my gosh, you even have like the ER vet made it in. And I was like, it literally made it in like 2 seconds before we left, because I was like, oh, I should probably put that in, because they kept asking me what meds he's on, and I was like, I don't really know how to say it, but I can point at it on the itemized receipt. That one right there. So we the room, the surgeon is like you get to talk to the surgeon before your dog goes in. And so they were like, okay, so the surgeon just went into another surgery. It should be like an hour. Are you okay waiting? And I was like, okay, at the time, because I was supposed to go get Olivia, because at the time I wasn't going to be at work until Saturday. And I was like, I need my makeup, I need my Hey Dudes. And so I had offered to take Olivia to work, and it was like 10 o'clock at this point, and call time was 1:45. And so I was like, yeah. I was like, yeah, I don't have to be anywhere until like 11:30, but like, that's okay. And well, maybe it was like 9:30. But I was like, and she was like, if that's too much, like it's okay. And I was like, no, I want to talk to the surgeon. So I sat and I waited. And while I was waiting, they made me watch a video. It was like a 30-minute video about recovery. And so while I was sitting there, I shot a text to my roommate because I was originally supposed to be going to work. So we had discussed like which crate we were putting him in, how much like, because he doesn't like being in crates. He likes to escape the crates, but he's crippled, so he can't escape the crates. So we were like, me and my roommate were talking about which crate we were putting him in, like all of the crate stuff. And so I just shot a quick text to her and I was like, hey bestie, don't worry about his crate situation. I called out, he's getting surgery. I guess I didn't word that right, because she calls me and she's, what? And I go, nothing bad, like he's just getting leg surgery, like he's just getting fixed. And she goes, oh, okay. And so then the surgeon comes in, talks to me, tells me that they have two options. They can either put a rod or put plates in. And she's like, it looks really good. From the x-rays, from what I can tell, they didn't give us like a side view. Like they gave her like a view like this, and then like a view of this, but they didn't give her this, so she couldn't see how shattered the bones were on this side. And so she was like, from what I can see from the two angles they gave me, it looks good. But I won't know for sure until I get this view. And I was like, okay, so valid. She's like, I think I can put a rod in, which rod would be better because he wouldn't have to be in a splint. He wouldn't have a splint, he wouldn't have a cast. He would just have to heal. I was like, oh, that'd be amazing. Because I'm thinking about the car ride home. I'm thinking about how how much easier it would be if he didn't have a splint. And so I'm like, oh, that would be amazing. And so they go and they take, he's already gone at this point, they already took him back. And so they have him. And so then I have to just wait. And I leave. I go take Olivia to work and I'm driving around. And then I finally make it home, and I'm laying on my bed for a little bit, and my roommate comes and lays on my bed with me, because she's working from home, and so she comes and just lays on the bed and goes, I don't want to do this anymore. And I go, I just want to know if my dog's okay. Like, they haven't called me, so it has to be good news, right? Like, surely if something went wrong, they would call me. And she's like, yeah, they would definitely call you if something went wrong. And so I gave them a call, and they go, oh yeah, he just got out of surgery. I'm sure you're gonna be hearing from her in just 2 seconds. And they give me 2 prescriptions. And so I ran, put my shoes on, ran to go pick up those 2 prescriptions. And as I'm in line to pick up those prescriptions, she calls me and she goes, hey bestie. And I go, oh no. She goes, so when we got in there, it turns out that from where, because his bones were completely broken. I don't know if it shows up on the x-ray. Hold on. I don't think it does, actually. No, it doesn't. But I'll show you the x-rays again. Don't worry, never fear. You've seen my dog's broken leg so many times. She said once they got in there, from the complete break, because his break was half in the middle of that bone, from that break, almost completely up to the joint, there was a fissure. And so she's like, we couldn't put a rod in. And I was like, oh, okay. I'm still thinking that means he has a cast. And I'm like, okay, so that's not ideal, but that's better. And she goes, so we put 2 plates and 10 screws in. I went, 2 plates and 10 screws? She went, yep. She said, here's your doctor's note. Because in order to pause our Atlas training, we had to get a doctor's note. And so I was like, thanks so much. Thank you so much. So I'll put his broken ones in right here. They took. Okay, so I only took screenshots of 2. They took 2. And then here are his what he looks like now with his 2 plates and 10 screws in. And so they tell me all that, I go, I pay, and then they come and get him into my car. I posted this picture everywhere, but it has to go in here too, because it's so funny. He was so drunk up, his tongue was out. Like, my roommate looked at him and went, "Don't rehydrate his tongue." And so she rehydrated his tongue when we got home. And, oh my gosh, he is so cute. Drug him is not fun though, because I had to like scoop him up, and so I have him like right here. As I walk, he is so limp and so drugged that he's just like a spaghetti noodle. And so like by the time I got to my door, he was like this, and his shoulders were actively just like slipping, and I was going, "Open the door, open the door, open the door." It's like, he's falling, he's falling, he's falling. But here's this picture of him drugged. And then we just kind of sat around all day. We just kind of hung out. Didn't really do anything because we really couldn't. He can't put weight on it for like 2 weeks. He has physical therapy exercises that we go through. Never fear, guys. Don't worry, there will surely be a video documenting a day with a cripple. He has to take his med. He has a certain med he has to take every 8 hours, and then he has another one that he has to take every 12 hours. That I screwed that up, but oops. Don't worry. I'm gonna be milking my dog's broken leg for a hot minute. He's hopefully gonna go to the next Alex Warren concert, and there will be a sign being like, "My dog broke his leg before the first concert, but now he's here." Cause we got pig tickets, bro. It was cool. I really wish that Weller hadn't broken his leg. He would have had a great time. But he decided he didn't want to go see Alex Warren. That was our joke. That was our joke in the emergency room, was if he didn't want to go to see Alex Warren, he could have just said that. So, sorry, Bubs. You have to go next time.